Here's our grinding room. Generally these doors stay shut because there is major ventilation on the inside. Over here we do have some cubbies here for face shields, but with the COVID-19 right now, the face shields have been removed. So you do need a face shield in this area, and safety glasses are always required in the shop at all time anyway. So this one here into the grinding room. We can hear the ventilation is turned on. A little bit stronger in here, just because all these grinding stations do have ventilation. And we can see this down below here. You have the drop in the ventilation here. They do go through the grates. The grates here are perforated with extra grating, so too much material does not fall through. And everything is ventilated and outside here for that. For these grinding stations here, we are using the electric grinders. We do have a plug at every station. We do have holders here, and this will be for the welding booths. So you can put your arms on here so you can do some grinding. We've got this attachment over here so you can put your table on here so you can do some grinding of your table. Over here, we just have a flat angle bracket here that's removable when these do wear out. But you have to use a pair of vice grips to put your piece on here, to clamp onto. Never use your hand to hold your material. Always use a clamp. And then we got these bigger grinders here. Electric grinders. When these discs do wear out, we just bring them to the tool room, puts a new disc on here, and then we're good to go with grinding here. So it can get quite noisy in here, a lot of sparks. Try to keep the sparks so they're inside this area here, not spraying your neighbor or the rest of the people in the room. This one here just happens to have a vise here on this one. This is one of the only ones that does. There is quite a few grinding booths in here. I think there's 13. Most of them are shut off, every second one, just because of the COVID-19. See similar over here on this side over here with the grinding. Again, just the grinding booths that are in here. There is no extra light that's in here, so there is no extra light switch or anything. So it could be a little bit dark in this area. Besides that, we can grind outside. We can grind over in the gouging area, the booths outside as well. We don't do any grinding inside the shop just because of the dust and the particulate. Okay, so there's our grinding there, of our rough grinding of our material. Any fine grinding, we'll be using this belt grinder here. Two people can use this at the same time. Somebody can be using it on this side and somebody else can use it on the other side. Very simple to operate. Just turn that on. And turn that off. Simple as that. We'll obviously watch your hand in here. Do not use the edge of your material or dig in. You don't want to wreck the belts, or you don't want to use the sides over here with your material. You don't want to wreck the belt or clip the edge or rip the belt. That's generally what happens here in this area. So just trying to take care of those belts the best that you can. Just a little tray here to put your tools or any material that you might be grinding up the edges. Over here on this side over here, we do have the cutoff saw. We do have a portable one outside, but this one here has just got the handle here. The sheen goes up and down. We do have the chain here that holds the material on. You would put your material in, wrap it around your material, and then put it in the hook here in the back. So your material will fit into here, and that will clamp that down. And how to clamp that down is you just hit this foot pedal down over here. Somebody had already had it down, so that would be up. That will tighten that chain up, and that'll hold and secure your material. For this one here, it's just going to be as simple as turning this on. That runs that machine there. Simple as turning it off. And again, as you're cutting through material or do have material to cut, do not bump or aggressively force the blade through the material. Let the blade do the cutting with just moderate force. It's just a thin wheel. It is a cut-off wheel. Over here we have our pedestal grinders for aggressive grinding, just to take any really bad edges or cut edges off. These pedestal grinders will do that. So make sure these are adjusted. This one's too far away. This one over here is the correct distance, but this one's angled down. Looks like we're going to need a little wrench here to adjust these. These should be adjusted so they're in the center of the wheel as well. So making sure that those are centered up. This one here is very simple here, just with the switch, a simple on. A simple off here. Make sure it is off before you leave the grinding room. A lot of times people walk away and they don't shut it off. So make sure that's shut off. And obviously we have some ventilation here that runs through the back and goes out through the same ventilation. And they do take a little while to slow down. They don't have a brake on them. You could use your material to slow them down. So they do stop a little quicker. This one here you can see shaking around. And that's just because the stone is a little out of balance here. So it just needs to be trued back up with the truing stone. But generally, for these are heavy grinding removal, we don't true these ones up usually. We're not sharpening drill bits on here. So it is rough grinding only, so that they're generally left like that. Pretty expensive wheels. They're about $300 a grinding stone here for these, so fairly expensive. You do not want to be using the edges or the other flat surface over here for grinding. You want to be grinding just on the front surface here only. There's our pedestal grinders. Over here we have a heater for this room, so it just allows heat that's to warm the room in here. That's what these two heaters are up here, because we are sucking a lot of air out of this room for the ventilation. It's a fairly good sized room, but it can get a little busy in here. And like I said, if it's a little busy in here, we can do some grinding outside. We can sign out a grinder from the tool room, and we can just simply go outside and find an area and a bench and a plug. And outside, we just use the outside as the ventilation. So that'll be the ventilation out there. Okay, it is hard to hear the coffee bell, so just realizing what time it is, not to be working through the end of the day, being left last. So we do have a clock in there as well. So like I said, it's a little hard to hear the horn in this room here. So there's our grinding room.